Hey everybody and welcome to Bandites. Let's finish our 3D short. My name is Cedric. Let's just jump right into it. How's everybody doing? Everything is fine, right? Everything is going, working. I've had like an error earlier, which didn't bode well for the stream. But okay. Last time when we left off, we kind of made the first pause of the lighting on the second scene. So we're gonna move on to the final scene, third scene, and then see if everything is correct, set everything up for the render, and then I'm gonna start rendering off stream. So, anywho, let's see here. So I've seen 3, so I have to go here. Oh boy. Should be a little bit of an easier scene. I think I still have to fix one animation issue in the previous scene, but we'll get back to that later. Kind of surprised that this is the... Oh yeah, because they're... Okay. Never mind, we're good. Because the camera is still here. Okay, and then poof. Happy dog. They run off. And 3000 is our last frame. There we go. It's not much. It's 4 shots. We'll get through this very quickly. I guess, I hope. We'll see. But we do have to make a new lighting setup, right? So, at the moment, everything is still dark. Everything is like, right? So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete the existing lights that I have, right? So we can clean slate, start off. Because we are going to change some things here. The floor is still animated, which is annoying. I haven't figured out how to find... I should start writing down the lessons, because we're going to do a post-mortem after this of everything we learned. But hey bro, long time man, was caught up in college works and couldn't follow you. What are we brewing today? Well, we're at the almost at the end of making our short. So and we got that going on for us. So what we're going to do first is kind of fix the... come on, camera. There we go. Fix the environment line, because now it's supposed to be morning, right? So we go to world. We have our night sky here. And I'm quickly gonna check out if I want to do this with our procedural clouds, or if I want to maybe not want to do it. So let's see here. Just gonna make this guy nice. Oh boy, this is going very slow. Well, YouTube is already... okay, wait, just remove this one. Nah, not that one. Oh, come on. Okay. Does this look like a sky? Not really. We have a horizon color. It should be more orangey, I guess. The strength is way too high, right? Let's see here. I should make this... It's more like a sundown if I make it orange. So let's get let's Google that. Sunrise. How does the sky look at a sunrise? Yeah, that feels okay. So it is pretty blue. And I guess the orange has to be more yellowish and lighter. The light coming from underneath is just amazing. Can we get away with this? That's the question. That is the important question. The thing is, a lot of like low illumination now happening. Because of the orange underneath, right? Because we're still working in Eevee. It's not the best for, yeah. I might just change the way I did this, so I'm just gonna delete everything from the sky, make everything Brock. Brockaroo. Gradient texture. Yeah, let's just make a simple gradient, just to start off at least. If you feel like we have to add clouds, we'll add them. So yeah, how does this work again? We rotate it 90 degrees, there we go. And then we could just convert no, position, the Z position. We want to, no, the Y position because we rotated it, no. The X position because I'm a fool, do something that's, you know, over the horizon line, that's fine. Cool, and now we can do converter, color ramp. And we want to do a shader background and pumped color in there. Cool. So now we just have to add these colors again. So I'm gonna have a very bright orange and a very bright blue. It's gonna look a little bit weird at the start, but that's okay. I just want to check if that's fine. And this black, I kind of want to, yeah, I kind of want to have a black void underneath it so we don't have like too much light. We could, the only thing like we could do here is maybe even add a little bit of green, just very dimly, so we kind of automatically get that green reverb from the grass, like the bounce lighting. We just cheat that with the environment light. We could do that. That looks okay-ish. So now I kind of want to only add one sunlight. And that already looks kind of good. Kinda. Not quite there yet. That's not pretty too bright. That's like this, yeah. Angle, what does that do? Oh yeah. Yeah, we want that angle to be 0. Maybe 5, I don't know. What is the default value? 0.5, sure, that's fine. Contact shadows, we want to turn that on, so we have like shadows on the character here. Do I have soft shadows turned off? No, it's turned on, but yeah, because the viewport is on 1. If it brings to 16. Oof. It's a little bit hard, to say the least. I'm gonna leave this on 16 for now. Already 3 likes. Wow. Thank you guys. You're the best. That was not like sarcastic or something. Let's see here. I've been doing some thinking about YouTube channel as well, and because I uploaded 3 videos yesterday, right? Because I made a character, and from that character I learned something I could pour into a tutorial, and I created something in preparation for that, and I also made a separate video of that. If you want to check it out, check the channel, subscribe, like, everything. It's amazing. I'm listening to some epic music. I've also been thinking about the I'm looking for a way to be able to manipulate one value of a linked shader, because I'm looking for a way to force a specular dot in the eye that's animatable, so to speak. And I already have that figured out live, but I want to figure out how to link it properly. Because linking in Blender, it still has a lot of mysteries for me. A lot of secrets. And yeah, I don't like that it has a lot of secrets for me. It's pretty important on projects like these. Do we need clouds? I don't know. I don't think so. Let's see here. Let's see how this looks. Of course, we could rotate the sun for the first shot. Someone here. Okay, now I kind of want to fix the floor. Oh man. Can I? No. It's just everything or nothing, right? Yeah. Man, and the background, the background plane. Oh, that is okay. That it looks terrible. I think, yeah, there we go. I think I even want to make this lighter. So I'm just gonna add this color to it. Make it a little brighter. So yeah, and this, of course, if you turn off the simplify, will turn into softer hills. Might preview that this way. I can kind of see as well. I think the roughness can be. You can just pump that up. Looks like a video game, a little bit, because it's. I think I have to turn this back to mixed. It was to, yeah, I know why I did this again. It was to get rid of the texture a little bit, but let's put in a nicer color in here. Maybe the foreground color. And a little less blue. There we go. It's simple, but you know, we could even do something super fancy and actually add some volumetrics, a little bit of mist, like volume scatter. There we go. That will just destroy the entire piece. The thing I usually do is put the density on 0.1 and then control the rest with this slider, because it's a little bit more intuitive in my okay. I think if I, yeah, this would be dangerous with lights. Actually, I want to create some mist and not like physical volume. I should use volume absorption. Oops. What am I doing? Nah. That's not what I'm looking for. Hello, Dats2. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. You know, maybe even make this a little bit colorized. I don't know. It should actually be blue. Like if you have real, because this can even be a bit harsher here. And then normally, once we go closer, this shouldn't be as visible as the, yeah. So the mist kind of dissipates here. Yeah, and just for blocking out the lighting, this doesn't look too bad actually. Let's put the light in the correct position. Am I again already keying this? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Should turn off the auto keying whilst I'm blocking things out. Yeah, we can leave the light here, give it a little bit consistent. But I maybe want to add some area lights. Oh god. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna turn off the volume for now because it doesn't add too much, but it's gonna run into some issues with our. So we have our light here, and it's gonna be our fill light. Cool. And I am gonna add a sunlight for the rim for various reasons. I want to turn off shadows for this, and I actually want to have this not so bright. I'll make it kind of bluish, light bluish, and I can kind of put an extra tint of fabulousness without like contaminating the environment. Good. Okay, I'm gonna turn on my simplify again, turn everything a little bit low poly, so we actually have a workable environment here. I'm gonna call this rim. And it looks like day, right? The grass in the background is still a little bit less saturated, I guess. Can still be green, but there we go. So, and as I save this, I kind of want to look into my folders and see if I can find the. It's also like two important lessons I learned from this project is folder structure and naming. I mean, I had a folder structure in mind, but then like it didn't quite work for this project. But I should have then moved everything into the new folder structure instead of like keeping things the way I wanted them. Because everything up till I started doing things specific to shots was fine, right? Next time we'll put up a fancy pipeline chart. So I am gonna open some blend files here on my other screen really quickly. I'm still opening. This is something weird. If I open a blend file by double clicking on it, I open Blender 2.8. Which is not that big of a deal because, you know, everything is compatible with everything. Oh, so it is this one. I'm gonna turn it off here. So I thought, let's look dev test. Yeah, sorry for this. Let's see here. 02. This is the only other file that could be it, right? Is it still animated here? No, it isn't. What is going on? Okay, now I have to wait for those textures to load. So I'm right clicking to select on my right screen, I'm left clicking to select on my left screen. That's amazing. That is still animated. Okay, but then where? It shouldn't be animated. I'm looking at the wrong shader. Okay, yeah, it's kind of weird. You don't seeing what's going on. It looks like the screen froze. Also, we almost hit 10,000 subscribers. Have you seen that yet? Hill, there we go. I want to turn off the driver, the lead drivers. And I actually want to turn that whole shebang off. Increase the roughness. I mean, this will be better over the entire. I should have made like separate assets for each. And then just get rid of the. Okay. Yeah. So just to show you what I'm doing. Here we go. This is the other blend file. I just removed that animation and I increased the roughness. So now I'm gonna save that and check if that actually is updating here. It doesn't seem like it is. Yeah. The thing is, I could basically so I'm gonna disable the rain here and the props and the cameras and the particles. I don't care. Character lights, the effects, the set lights. Yeah, I just care about the set, right? We could actually, it's actually a good thing that this isn't linked because now we can just link it in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete the set here. Don't panic. I'm gonna file, link the other set. There we go. So I'm just gonna go. Let me describe to you what I'm doing. I'm just scrolling to the file I just had open. Going to collection set. I'm just gonna link this. There we go. On the wrong spot. Why is this? Okay, let's just quickly. Oh god, this is not good. Why is this not in the correct place? Does this have a location? It does, but it's not a correct location. Okay, so we're gonna try and estimate this. Guess this was the place, right? Okay. Let's just see, you know. So tree is basically in the middle there. Oh no. Oh no. Why is it in the wrong spot anyway? I don't get it. It feels like it's even rotated a little bit, but I'm just trying to find the exact... Assuming I didn't clip the dog's feet here. I mean, here it doesn't matter, but here it's also less of an importance, but this shot just should be good. Okay, why is it so hard to line up? This seems somewhat no, not bad long shot. This wasn't rotated, right? What is happening? I thought you were sitting here. Yeah, you're like completely wrong. Huh. Your feet should be on the floor here. What I'm doing is like inexcusable. Hold on. Okay, what we can do, I'm just gonna Control Z and long live the new Blender, and it's fast Control Z. I'm just gonna bring the old one back, link the new one. I shouldn't have moved it this much. I'm gonna run out of Control Z's, aren't I? No, we're almost there. Okay, so now it should be poof. Okay, bring in the old one. There we go. Just gonna really quickly check the. It's on 000. What's going on? I'm gonna not append. I'm gonna link it again. Link. Hi Mono, how you doing? Hey Alcio, how you doing? How you work with two blenders and updated it? You must on the axis that feed of these. Yeah. It's like. I wish it was that easy. So I'm just gonna sync them up like this. Oh, why are these different? I should just be able to basically. There we go. This shouldn't be in sets. Just gonna make a collection of links. And then if I have another set here. So there we go. It's that easy. And trees just moved separately a little bit. We're just gonna delete this one, and now we have the new okay. We have our fill light here as well. Okay. Just gonna move it a little bit more away so that so just fill the character a little bit. Yeah, so that's good. So we don't have those pesky shadowy areas, right? I wanted to point to the screen with my finger, and then I figured that doesn't work. Hey, Sponge Kim, how you doing? How is Bikini Bottom? I'm sorry. Bikini Bottom is actually a pretty adult name for a town of a children's cartoon series. So yeah, now the rest works. That's fine. It's all fine and dandy. Cool. Let's just start lighting the shots then. So I'm gonna turn on for the everything basically. So I'm already gonna put a rotation key for the fill, a rotation for the rim, a location and rotation for the fill, and a rotation for the sun. Because even if we do move it, like the only thing that matters is rotation. So okay, now we go to the first one here, and now with auto keying on, we can start to make it just something a little bit more pleasing, right? So our rim, can bring in a little bit of a rim light to the leaves here. That's fine. That looks cool. Very nice. There we go. Let's go to the next shot. This is all keyed here. It's fine. There's no problems with the dog jumping in. That's all cool and dandy. Okay, this shot. I'm gonna rotate the rim a little bit so we have a little bit more of a rim light on the dog. I should move the sun as well to kind of get a little bit more of a pleasing light. Something like that. And I actually should put the rim on the other side so I'm actually lighting. I should pull the fill light to his left side. Oh boy. Something like this, and then, you know, we're filling up the right side of the face here a little bit more. Okay. And that works for the entire shot. And here, I'm just gonna move the fill light up here so it doesn't create any pesky light contamination here or there. And what I'm gonna do is have the rim light from the first shot copied and the sunlight. There we go. So now that we have consistent with our light's not consistent. How is our light not consistent? I copied the keyframe. Oh, it is consistent. Why is it? Oh, it's moving. Right. You have to do the thing where we select our lights here and put the Y, no T, and interpolation mode on constant, so it just moves per shot, right? Yeah, the next shot we're gonna do is shot based because although I thought like here it goes a little bit faster to do it sequence based because you can just like do the entire sequence in one go. But on the other hand, it's it comes with a lot of fidgeting around, and if I have to go more into detail, it's not gonna pay off. So from now on, we're doing everything shot based. Cool, very cool. So this doesn't move. Okay, and now everything seems to be in working order. And the question is, do we want to add some clouds? Do we? I think it's fine. If I want to now add clouds to this in procedural shading, that's gonna be. I mean, we can give it a go. We have time. It's only 2:15. Been streaming for 30 minutes. Let's see here. Noise texture. So I learned something that the higher you put the detail of your noise, the longer render times are. It's not like by a big factor, but if you have a lot of noise textures in your procedural material and you just push detail like I used to do all the way to 16 all the time, it can affect your render times noticeably. So anyway, so why not just push these flat like this. And I want to check if we can create some clouds here. Sure, that's good enough for me. And then we can just do a color, mix RGB, just have some subtle clouds in the sky, right? So it's not super empty. There you go. Maybe turn down the scales. The clouds are a little bit bigger. Maybe add more clouds. The add function does seem a little bit weird here because we can just add like not a lot of clouds. I wonder what the distortion will do that benefits us. Maybe a little. Let's just play around with these settings. That doesn't look half bad. Just rotate it a little bit. Seems too specific. Let's bump up the scale again. I'm going to 1.5 or something. And distortion 2.5. Yeah, let's keep it. We can turn the scale up or down again if you want. Maybe even push it up a little bit. Just finding some nice clouds, you know. You know what fanciness we could do? We could type in our Z rotation hashtag frame. And now, if we would play this normally, why isn't this? Oh, it's just changing by such a small integer that. Okay, frame times 10. Let's go. That's also not doing a lot. Okay, times 110. I cannot see it move, so why is it not working? Okay, it's not doing the thing I needed to do. Delete driver. Let's see. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But I highly doubt it. So let's go to frame. Let's see if this moves. This isn't doing the thing it's supposed to do. Why is it on 0.484? It should be the number of the frame. That is weird. I'm just gonna delete it because that sounds like imminent disaster. I finished my portfolio just yesterday and applied a bunch of company, but no reply. I'm really happy and peaceful now. Okay. Yeah, but yeah. So if you're applying to companies, like, have patience because there's a lot of people. Like I would say the normal time of unemployment, like if you finish your portfolio or your degree and you start looking for work, it takes from 3 to 9 months. Mostly it's like 6 months, 6 month-ish. That I hear from most people. Of course, the better your portfolios or the better your connections are. I think the best way always is to, not always, but I think one of the good ways is once your portfolio is good, like find a friend or like try to connect on forums or internet, and try to find people that, you know, might help you get a job in the industry. But who wants to work in the industry anyway? I'm just kidding. The industry is fine. There was this whole shebang about what's her face quitting her job at Disney because it's an industry. I'm on two fronts on that. I'm not really have an opinion, like have a side on it. I don't know. If you haven't seen it, basically the rundown is that there's this artist who was a storyboard artist, but correct me if I'm wrong, at a Disney studio. But she didn't agree with the I'm just checking now to I can do the focus, by the way. Put that correct. Okay, where is my focus? Hello? Where are you? Oh yeah, it's the cameras are invisible. Sweet. Now I can find my focus. Hello? Focus on the focus? No? Oh, it's not clickable. Well then. There we go. So yeah, for this shot, put it on a tree. That's fine. But basically she quit a job because she didn't agree with like that people were networking and that you would gain like steps forward by having friends or being social. And it was very hard for being somebody who isn't so social to climb up the ladder. Also, your skill wouldn't matter that much, and so on and so on. So basically, she stopped working at Disney because she didn't like the company culture, basically. And I can't disagree with that. There's a lot of studios out there, and I don't want to dishearten anybody, but you know, they run mostly on money. That's just the truth of the matter. You can always like, you know, or maybe not. Like, let me put it this way: you can always there's not a lot of option. It's a very small industry, and you kind of, in most cases, you kind of have to settle with what you're given, right? So I get that the argument of saying, yeah, but then you just work at another company is not always valid, right? But I would say about 50% of studios, 3D studios, animation studios, gaming studios, any studio in the media market has a business first perspective. And I would say the other 50% are more creative incentive. But it's not always a black and white story. Mostly it's a mix of those two. And I think it really matters of who is giving the money out, right? Hey, I'm just starting with animation, Divyansh says. How are you doing, Divyansh? I'm learning 2D right now from the book Animator Survival Kit. That's a really good book by Richard Williams, yeah. And then I'll move to 3D. Yeah. If you really want to get into animation, the Animation Survival Kit is a really good book. Really good book. And just like practice those things as well. Just don't read the book, but just practice everything that's in the book. Every example that's given, try it out for yourself at least 5 times. Because I haven't, like, I'm not a good animator. Okay. I just noticed that, like, the animation is a little bit, it's one frame, but I can just cut that frame away. It's not a big deal. I'll just cut that frame. So other things, the shadow might be a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. It kind of gives away that the sun is low. Is there any tips that you can give me for a fish day while learning? But I love your work. I love you too, man or woman. It seems like you have a beard, so I'm gonna assume. No, I shouldn't assume genders. That's a bad thing. No, but just what I said. Practice. Always and practice efficiently. If there's one channel, which by the way led me to that conversation about the whole Disney thing, is I'm so bad at names. Oh, Ethan Becker. Yeah. So he is a storyboard artist, 2D artist, but he has very good tips on efficient learning. And it's just about learning more in less amounts of time. And it's really about like fix your existing mistakes, be self-criticism. Don't just throw a bunch on Facebook or YouTube to get likes or something, but really be efficient with what you do and really be. I would check out his channel. But to come back to the industry debacle, it's always gonna be a mix mash. Maybe I might do a video about it, but I don't see why I should, because, you know, let's be honest, I don't have like that big of a viewership to really motivate that kind of video. I don't know, like my opinion already has been channeled through other people talking about it that I agree with. I don't know if I can bring anything new to the table, but I think my take is basically one thing that hasn't been discussed is that most companies are a mix between business people that make decisions based on what they think will turn a profit, and that's not always a bad thing. You know, turning a profit means that a lot of people like it, and if you want to create something a lot of people like, you have to make something enjoyable. Sometimes it's not that clear, of course, but let's go into the by the way, the depth of field phase of this. So it's on, right? Yeah, I mean, you can turn it off again. What is this? This is camera 0. You already have depth of field on, right? Yes. So go to the next camera. This is camera 2, but also already has depth of field. And camera 20, that's a new camera. It's the last camera. It's the last depth of field will do. But it's because, for instance, like making a Minions 3 movie is a business safe decision. It's a decision where you can say, if we make a Minions 3 movie, we will make millions. And then within that, you can kind of have people who do put their passion in it and do want to make a good movie. but in that you also have people making decisions that they think, or in their opinion, are the best decisions to make a lot of profit. Could you please tell me the good way of animating a character faster? I know if you take very low poly, it works fine, but is there any for high poly? No. It's the more polys you have, the more animation work you have. There are techniques, but I'm really not the person to go for that. But animating 3D becomes very hard when you go into high poly, because if you want to have the full detailed look, like subtle facial movements, or it really depends on what you want to do as well, but there's no fast way. There's animation takes about 30% of the entire animation pipeline budget, even 40%, and that's with a reason. It's definitely the hardest part, and it's definitely the part where most money kind of disappears. Oh, yeah, we still have to put this on. Oh, our focus is moving around again. Let's go back to animation, and let's turn these into constant. Very good. Okay, done. All right. So, the last thing I want to do is go back to our, I'm going to press open. I'm going to go back to our first sequence, lighting. Hey, Moroccan Music, how you doing? Welcome back to the street. Hi, I saw your delicate time lapse. Wonderful. Thanks. I overdid the back muscles a little bit, but what was it like? The base mesh I made for that didn't have any muscle definition, and I looked up pictures of ballerinas, and I was like, I want more. You can see it in time lapse how it progresses. I don't have any definition in the back, and then you go in and have a lot of definition in the back. And even like Marie told me, like, yeah, you have to smooth it out. And I was like, I don't know. But what happened was, I can by the way go into that project later on if you want, because I don't have that much work here anymore. But yeah, everything here is already fixed. Yeah, the rain is already gone. So I'm just gonna go really quickly check if everything checks out in the first scene. Everything should be done. For a moment there, it seemed like the focus is correct. I really love this shot. I mean, it's so full of animation errors, but I'm. If people ask me what kind of artist are you an animator, are you things? I'm always saying like I'm a visual artist, a lighting artist, and compositing artist, because I really love to make things look pretty. You know, I'm not an animator. I've seen like people's animation work that is amazing, but you really have to focus on animation if you want to do that. I can make things look pretty, right? So that was my goal here. Kind of succeeded, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna close this other project. Okay. So basically done with lighting. I'm gonna render everything off stream, and I'm gonna quit the stream in half an hour. So let's have a small Q&A. And I'm already gonna do something pre-render. I'm already gonna set it up, and after the render and after I composite it, I'm not gonna composite it heavily because it's not necessary for this project. But because I don't want to get into render pauses for something that isn't prepared for it, right? If you want to do render pauses, if you want to do proper compositing, then you need to prepare for that. And I didn't, because I wanted to keep this project simple. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start a new document. We started out with a document. I might even have this somewhere. Yeah. Oh my god. Isn't this an oldie but goodie? Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up and hope I don't share all my financial data with you. Just kidding. Okay, so we started out with this, by the way. So we started out with, we're gonna make an animation movie. And actually, the thing was I wanted to make it 1 minute. So I'm gonna up top because I'm gonna scroll down, and I don't want to have this. I'm already gonna write up a little bit of post-mortem, which is post-def, you know, post-finish. 1. Stick to the time limit. So so I'm gonna what we learned, right? 60 times. I wanted to make something of 1 minute, and I got too excited, and I was like, oh, I need a story. I need it 2 minutes long, even though the script was only 1 page, and I was like, oh, that's 1 minute. But if you have a lot of description, and I didn't even go that much into the description of the script, then it's gonna be longer than a minute. Mostly it's 1 minute if you have a lot of dialogue. If you have a page filled with dialogue, it's gonna take more or less a minute. But of course, if you write a page full of descriptions, that might take longer. I mean, I know there were 4 lines in the Baby Driver script, I think, and that took like 3 minutes in the movie. So I thought you were an animator. Well, I am an animator, as in I animate stuff, but I am not an expert animator. Because I animated this, right? So I am a motion graphics animator, but there's so many specialties that you can't expect somebody to be an all-round. I do know a lot of things about surface production, pipelining, and all that. So what we learned, stick to the time limit. So we were 1 minute, and we changed that to 2 minutes. That was a mistake. That was was a huge mistake, because, as I said, animation is the biggest part, and if you inflate that, then you get you just like it's a massive amount of work, animation, and I kind of want to learn more. I want to be a better animator as well, but I kind of want to teach you guys the things I know, and that's everything except animation. I know the principles of animation, but it's just such a long process that, you know. The next project we're gonna properly animate, but I designed that to be a lot easier to animate. So you'll see what I mean once we start up the next project. It's probably gonna be in a week, maybe, depending on stuff that happens. It's not a promise. I recently discovered your channel and followed your lighting and modeling series, and they were a gem, really. So thank you, man. I shared your work with a lot of friends. Ah, thanks, man. Yeah, sharing it is really one of the many ways you can help out this channel. The other is joining Patreon down below in the description. Is it in the description? I didn't even check if the description of this was correct. I really rushed into the stream. So, lesson number 2, folder structure. So, and that's kind of pipeline. Like, I know there's a lot of people who think like pipelining, oh no, that's just the scripts that make buttons that really like make stuff happen automatically, but there's so much more to pipelining. Pipelining is just basically all the work around the creative work, or well, no, let's say all the work it's everything that you don't see, right? It's everything that makes the work of the artists easier. It's everything that smoothens the transitions between pipeline steps. It's everything. It's just everything. Like everything that it's the conveyor. Yeah, it's the conveyor belt of your production. It's from start to finish. Everything that makes that easier and makes it smoother and makes it more logic and structured is pipeline. Whether it's technical or production level, doesn't matter. So we just write pipeline, and then 2A is folder structure, and then prep compositing better. It is so much prep work that I skipped, that I shouldn't have skipped. So what we learned. What did we learn more? There's definitely more. If you have questions about anything, really, you can ask it in the chat. And I also, well, this might be a good time to say that down in the description you can see a link to the Discord channel. And on that Discord channel, free for everybody at the moment, there's a two art feedback groups. If you want to have your feedback on your art pieces or on your animations or whatever, you can share it there with the rest of our little very small community. But it's nice to have like such a small community, because I'm getting to know you guys, which is nice. But yeah, you can check that out. What we learned. no cloth, no effects. Next project. I mean, you can have cloth animation, like, but I want to start from, because I don't want to get like Marvelous Designer into this, because it's kind of like we want to keep using Blender. There is cloth animation in Blender, but the way that works is that you have to do a lot of trial and error, a lot of simulation, and that doesn't really fit in the. I might do a video about that once I figure it out, but there's no. It doesn't work in a stream. If I have like 5 minutes work of like tweaking some settings, checking around, and then spend 20 minutes simulating, that's just not fun to watch either. Also effects, I think like small effects like explosions are just placed in the scene could be fine. But yeah, the next, because I wrote the script as well, I did the random word generator, and we designed this whole thing on the spot. The next short I designed to be a lot more even in the work area, so like modeling, there's going to be a lot of modeling, a lot of shading work, so that's good because then we can focus on that a little bit more. The character is going to be way more stylized than this one, even more. But that will allow us to play with the facial rigging a lot more. Hey, can you please tell the specs of your PC? Wooden. I made it with wooden planks and rocks. It's slowly dying, but you know. Do you have a different PC for rendering? No. Or prefer those online? I started, once Eevee came out, I started to work exclusively, because this is also rendered in Eevee, I started to work exclusively in Eevee. I can even, this might be a good time to actually show you the, I think this is the alternative version. Yeah, this is the version. I'm gonna show you the delicate ballerina thing. The reason for being is I hate rendering. There's so much, like, because I'm such a visual artist, I like to see what I'm doing. I like to circumvent certain rules and cheat away so I get a nice result, right? Just gonna ignore the script here. And with that, like, because this, let's go here, is fully real time. I still want to render out an animation of this, but this is like fully real time. Well, it's not fully real time because it kind of has to render as well, but it goes so fast. And I like this workflow because also I'm kind of avoiding going to the front. If you ever wonder how this looks in the front, I mean, you can see it on the time lapse, but it's kind of like there's a lot of subsurface scattering, and it looks good from the back, but from the front. Can you see that the back muscles are not even that extreme? Pretty proud of the crystals, how they look. But yeah, I want it to look nice, and that was for me the most important part. And since Eevee came out, I was like, yeah, I want to kind of use Eevee because I don't like waiting for a render, because I don't. And like being able to move lights around, or just like playing with the color and seeing what effect that has. Man, I like that so much more than waiting for a render and then having to make big boy decisions. If you record script, well, yeah, in the next one there's gonna be a little bit, a couple of voice lines. Or if you, or do you mean if I record the script thing part? Because I also did it for this one, but I don't know, because it's something like I like to write down and I like to keep it in the back of my head and then kind of do something else and then get back to the script and kind of finish. It's kind of more of a creative process, so I might make a video about it. This is not animated, but I kind of want to animate a camera movement. So just where the camera is slowly moving in. I might adjust the piece a little bit before doing that so that the camera is moving in. But you can see how much I cheat here, right? Like the stage you see in the background is just like a cube with 2 array modifiers and a subdivision. So if I turn that off, you can see it's just this one beveled cube, or like, yeah, and then it's just arrayed a couple of times with a very basic shader. So this is the entire shader, right? This is a principled base color, a lot of roughness, and yeah, then it gives like these the stage chairs, right? It's also like a tip I give, like if you make something for one frame or even for animation, know what you need and know what you don't need, right? Because I could have spent like a day's work of like making all these chairs and making like very detailed and stuff, and then they just disappear in the background. Because I see a lot of people doing that actually, but I don't need it for this piece. I laid it out, I blocked it out, and I was like, okay, I need this, this, and this. And yeah, you can see I love my lighting, right? Oh yeah, set pieces. I don't know why I call it set pieces. I like okay, the floor here. You can see this is just the world settings. The world has a little bit of a background, which is nice. Oh no, I didn't even use that. It's just a black background. I tried to cheat an environment texture in there for the refraction, but Eevee doesn't really have the light paths set up correctly, or it just doesn't work. So I just had these overdone highlights when I did that, although it gave a nice effect on the crystals. So there's no environment texture to this whatsoever. Yes, you can see, I mean, there's still a light somewhere that there's a light in the wrong collection here. Oh, there we are. Okay, so I'm gonna move these two set pieces. I didn't like at the end. You can see that my naming is, these are all the shards, the separate shards. Can I see my, yeah, so there's a lot of them, about 650. Very cool. But if I turn off these other lights, so yeah, you can see light by light. I think I use these lights to really pull in the silhouette here. And there's a kind of a top light, an area light to kind of give it more silhouette. Another light from the right to really like emphasize the silhouette, right? So a lot of lights are just like getting more of this silhouette in. And then there was this fill light that I put in to give it a little bit more of a flashy color. And then there's of course, the two spotlights that really use the volumetrics in the scene to kind of have this spotlight effect, right? If it was just these two lights, then it wouldn't. It still has a cool effect, right? But yeah, and just all these lights. Like you can even see that I faked the color of the skin a little bit with the lights, so that's fine. But of course, once you do things for animation, then it becomes a little bit more complex. Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, here still the legs are separate, right? So these are still separate objects because, yeah, the crystals kind of obscure the effect once I turn these off. Obscure effect. I mean, I kind of smoothed it out here so it doesn't tell too much, like especially from this point. You can kind of tell now, but once the shards are on, you can't really see that. You can see it, but you can't really see it, right? It's not visible. And then of course I threw it through Photoshop. I might have overdone the Photoshop a little bit, because if we check the final image, this is how it's rendered. And this is why I like doing Eevee, because the render time of this takes like 30-40 seconds, and that's why I use it. So this is the final image. It has I put a color grade over a color gradient over it, going from blue to yellow to white, and kind of overlaid that to give it a little bit more of these colors that I really like. You can see the bloom really working here. I don't know why it's not working really. Oh, you can kind of see it working. The tricky part with Eevee is, if you see it in the viewport, you don't always see it in your render. You do have to make test renders, because like the bloom or the screen space reflections and refractions do act differently in depending on your render resolution. So you have to keep that in mind, and that's something that bothered me on my previous piece, because it's good. I might not be able to open that one because it's kind of not safe for work. But I made these light bulbs. You can see it in time. It's on the channel, but I made these light bulbs and it looked really great when I previewed them. But once I zoomed out, it didn't look cool anymore because the refraction worked differently because the camera was further away. And then it looked even different. Even when I was looking through the camera, it looked even different in the render because it's a different resolution, and then Eevee kind of calculates things differently. So it's kind of my pet peeve with because in Cycles, if you can see it, if you zoom in and you see it, then that's what you get because it's a ray traced renderer, right? And Eevee is more like cheating a lot of stuff, which is fine. It's like a game engine basically, or like a game engine renderer. Because always when people talk about, yeah, it's like a game engine, people are like, can you make games in Eevee? And it's like, no, it's not a game engine. Can you show Cycles viewport? Ooh, I can try. And then you can see how slow my computer is. I read article about YouTuber. It says you better not add number in title because people maybe won't see it if they didn't watch previous videos. Yeah, but on the other hand, it's like, I get it, right? It's like, that rule applies more like if you're doing a meme review or a LOI, because it's like, oh, it's an episodical, I don't want to see. But the streams I do now are very sequential. It's very like, yeah, this is part so much because it's an ongoing series. For future streams, I'm not going to do it if these are separate streams. But yeah, let's go to, I'm already going to draw a border here. Yeah. It looks different, definitely. So it's Cycles and Eevee is not 1-to-1, especially with the bounce lights. But you can see, I'm just gonna put the viewport in the ring. But this is one I want to avoid. I did my first big project in a studio, animation studio, was actually in a game engine. So it was cutscenes, in-game cutscenes for a game, for Neck 2. I think I can say that now. It's been years. I'm not tied to my NDA forever, am I? I mean, no, I can always say that. Like, I worked on Neck 2. And we did the in-game cutscenes. So basically, we could light the scenes and the fog and the special effects and everything in real time, which was really amazing. Because waiting for a render is I don't like it. It's, and especially like if you're working in a company, I'm gonna stop rendering because stream is slowly dying. Am I still on? Oh, we skipped 16% of the frames. I'm just gonna check if... Yeah, so the stream is lagging because I was... That's another reason I'm not doing Cycles, because if I'm recording a video or if I'm streaming, it just dies. It destroys my computer. My computer's not really good. One day I'm gonna try and find funds for a new computer, but I mean, I might do it like in the next couple of weeks, because it still kind of works. It still runs the latest games. I can still do my projects in Eevee. It doesn't lag up if I go to 2 million polys in sculpting. It's a good computer, and I don't want to throw it away because Cycles doesn't render fast enough or something. Cycle looks so crisp. I don't know what you saw. Is the stream still running? My video is... I can still see it in OBS. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so the stream is back. Oh man, I'm running like 2 minutes behind on the stream. Anyway, time for a motivational talk. We still have like 10 minutes. I kind of want to... Nah, don't save. He didn't do anything. Because I kind of want to show something else I started working on. And then I stopped working on it. Now first let me show something that I didn't record. Right? I made this, and I'm maybe gonna do something with it, but I made this muscular man. So I did some anatomy practice. It's not the best. It was a quick sculpt. It was like a 30-minute sculpt or an hour sculpt or something. But I didn't like how it looked in the end. So I gave him like an 8-pack in the beginning. And but this was what led me to... I was like, I don't know how this works. And then I went to... And this is what I want to teach you about efficient learning. Because then what I did was I looked up good base meshes or good simplified anatomy models. Because I don't want to make a base model like with all the muscles in it. That's ridiculous. Only if you really want to make a model like that with a good reason. But except for experimental stuff, I don't see it happening in production. But that led me to making this base mesh. Let me see here. Right, and he's a little bit less muscular, and it's also like it's a little bit gender neutral because sometimes I see a girl in it, sometimes I see a boy in it. So we have this funky boy, currently with IK hands. And if you want to have this, if you want to check this out, this is free to download. If you go to the video, there's a Gumroad link where you can download this one. And this actually kind of helped me, because the thing you'll learn, it has some kinks, the rig. Like, especially like the bones here, the foot is like, I couldn't get it to skin right, so it kind of pops out. But of course, like the thing I'd even suggest is that you first remesh this and then let's get this. I'm gonna even do this real quickly. So I'm going to sculpt mode, remesh this to oof, no, that was too little. Let's go to 0.01. But that of course like destroys the hand like and stuff, but it still kind of works as a I'm gonna do automatic weights again. And there we go. Thank you for doing this. It's so interesting. Yeah, no problem. I'm here for you guys. If you have any questions, if you want to see anything that I made. Because looking back now at the model that I'm making for the animation, so look now it's kind of like it's better. So one has stretch on one, yeah, better. And this is like, if you do it this way, you can also really quickly have a more responsive or a more correct way of now, because now the muscles kind of stretch and stuff. So I want to turn this up. This is just done with the Rigify, by the way. I didn't make this rig myself. I was always like fascinated by doing my own rigs and stuff, but I might stop doing that because it's just Rigify is so much better. And I think you kind of need to have a approximate knowledge, like the shoulder is way up too high here. You can really quickly fix that if you want. It's more here, right? It really depends as well, I guess. Kind of rotate the shoulder. Oops. But everything seems a little bit more responsive if you bring it together first. But shoulders are so. But there's enough tools these days to automatically rig your model. There's also the Mixamo stuff if you have a. But this kind of helps me to get a good base mesh going. To you know, yeah, I don't even want to know what the fingers do now. Oh, I still kind of move to a fist. That's interesting. Oh, oh no, ooh no, I think I selected too many bones here. What's this going on? Oh wait. Individual radiance. There we go. Yeah, that's important. But this is with the Rigify model, and like the thing I kind of suggest if you kind of want to get to this point of having a good base mesh, right? You can just download mine. That is true. You also want to always look up references for your poses, right? What I'm doing now is, oops. Can Rigify do facial rig? No. Well, yes, there are controls in there, but it doesn't always. It does. it doesn't work the way you want it right off the bat. But there are some controls in there, so you could use it as a good basis. But the thing I suggest, if you want to do more body related stuff, if you go, I'm going to do something dangerous and unprecedented. I'm going to Pinterest and show you what I'm looking at. And if you just look for base mesh, right? There you go. You find so many good base meshes. You can even find other base meshes you can download. But like from realistic to, yeah, I already made this video not safe for work, cool, to very stylized. There's a lot of things you have to go through because not all of them look great, but you can kind of judge for yourself which ones are good and which ones aren't so. Just realistic proportions, stylized proportions. But you can find a lot of them, and like if you just start from there and try to replicate them, then after a while you get to know which parts have to go where, and it's a really good exercise. Or at least I'm finding it a really good exercise because I'm practicing more and more on it. I'm gonna make more base meshes. So yeah, especially like this bow, and you can go like whoop, 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 whoop. Can you please show how many polygons it has? This one? Currently 50,000, but it's not very optimized. I think you can have the same amount of detail with like 10,000 polys. Don't focus on those kind of questions, man. Those are dangerous questions. It doesn't matter how many polys it has. It has to, because you're gonna increase this once you have a good character for a game. You want to decrease it. If you want to create a good character for animation, you want to increase it. Because for animation, you don't need a lot of you don't want to cheat a lot of things with normal maps and optimizing if you can just do the real thing, right? But still. So yeah. Can I show another thing before I log off here? Don't save, doesn't matter. But you can download this base mesh if you want. Just go to the channel, go to the video about the base mesh. You'll see it. It's one of the latest videos. And there's a Gumroad link in there, and then you can download. And if you want, you can leave a tip. You can leave me a coffee if you want. The only other character I tried since after Scope January, because Scope January took all of my time. There was this drawing by, I don't know who it is, but he made this baseball elf girl. I can show you the image once I open the file, I think. Yeah, so it's this drawing. And I asked him permission. It was very friendly, by the way. So I started like blocking this out, right? This wasn't like nowhere complete. I have different versions here. I even made like for some reason I already put the rig in the correct place. Maybe because I wanted to go too fast into sculpting this in pose. I think that was my key mistake. But other than that, I got really disheartened because two other great artists that I follow made the exact same model. You've probably seen them. And they made such a good work about it, right? And I was like, oh man, now if I do something, I either have to do it better or like, come in third place. It's not a competition really. And I will definitely do something by this artist because he's a great artist. The name escapes me for a second, but I can really quickly go into my messages here, and because this should be Luigi Lucarelli. Yes, he is shout out time. If you go to ArtStation, Luigi Lucarelli, he has a lot of great stylized character art, and even like you wanna go into one of his artworks because he sometimes puts multiple images into one thing. So I think one of these boxers has been. There's a lot of 3D artists that look at this work and create 3D because it's so. He makes it very 3Dable. There's a lot of 2D designs out there that don't really work in 3D because of various reasons. But he shades them a little bit like smoothly, and these are really great designs to actually put in 3D. I'm still scrolling, and this is just one piece. I think this one is the biggest with the most artworks in it. But especially like this, because here you can read so many 3D shapes off of it that it's nice. But keep in mind that if you want to make, so that's Luigi Lucarelli for you. If you want to publish an artwork that's based on somebody's concept art, it's nice to ask that person first. Because, you know, technically, if you don't make a living off of it, I make a living off of it, so, well, no, I make a living out of it. But for me, it's different. Like, I have to, because somebody can copyright claim me if I don't ask permission, a written permission, and I'm like, hey, can I use this for this and that? And they say no, and then, you know. But even if it's for personal work, it's nice to ask. They can't technically sue you if you make something that's based off their design, but, you know, somebody put their heart and soul into that design, and if you don't credit them, if you don't ask them first, then... But don't be afraid. I think 99% of concept artists, if you ask them, hey, can I use your artwork to make in 3D? They'll always... 99% will always be excited, will always be like enthusiastic, and will have time to answer, and that's fine. I will start 3D animation channel when I get a job. You inspired me to do that. Then hit me up. I'm curious what you're gonna create. Yeah. Okay. So there was. I'm just gonna end on our project again, which is gonna again take 5 minutes to load in everything. Or maybe not. Maybe it's still in the cache. Oh, that's nice. There we go. Yeah, I like the clouds. I like how they look. So, I'm just gonna make this full screen now. I'm gonna do the thing. Really quickly, I'm gonna be super honest with this. I always forget to check the Patreon right before because I have to, I'm not sure about how I have to do the Patreon rules. Because sometimes I have a Patreon that kind of stays for 1 month but then goes away, and I'm like, how long do I include them, right? But, yeah. If you want me to render in cycles again, support me on Patreon so I can buy a new computer. Anyway, I'm gonna do the thing. That didn't work. What did I do? Oh. I want to thank all my Patreons, and I especially want to thank my Sir Knights of the Round Table, Sir Taylor Brown and Sir Doki. If you want to join me on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/bandite or follow the link down below. It would be hugely appreciated. I am now officially announcing another perk that comes with being a resident. Is on the Discord channel, which is link. The link for Discord you can find down below. If you're a resident or above, there will be a exclusive text channel where you can see stuff that I'm working on or tutorials that I'm working on, which I might need feedback on or might need your help on, or even like just want to share stuff. Or if you have your own ideas for tutorials or need help, that I can like focus on that. So I am gonna open that up, but you know, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm gonna add that later. And if you're, because the Patreon Discord features that should be working don't quite work there yet. So I'm gonna check if they work now. I'm also making a new website with Wix. I'm not sponsored yet. She got sponsorship, but but anyway, I love your faces, and I'm probably gonna stream on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. On Wednesday, after the renders are done. If the renders are done, I'm gonna stream, and I'm gonna stream the last phases of the short, and then we can finish it, publish it, and be so happy. And I might just thank everybody who's ever been on the stream or has ever left a comment or a chat. I might just throw everybody in the credits there because you've been a huge support. Anyway, I don't want to like chase the goose too quick because there's still things gonna go wrong, of course. But I love your faces, like Philly D would say. Also, PewDiePie is back, so my chance to become the world's greatest YouTuber have gone fleeting. I also want to thank everybody who follows me on Twitter at @JantingGant. You can always follow me there, see what I'm doing, see with whom I'm talking, follow conversations, discussions about anything. Anyway, I really have to go now. You want to say bye? Oh, wait. Julie isn't here. Sad face. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.